My beloved soul, stop for a moment. I need to speak with you now. Not tomorrow, not when you have free time, but at this exact instant, in the middle of your rush, in the middle of your to-do list. There is a word that urgently needs to reach your heart before another day passes and you get even more lost in the noise and the hurry. I have been watching you, moving at a pace that has become unsustainable. Your mind, a whirlwind of worries. Your body, a vessel of fatigue. And your soul, oh, your soul is breathless, trying to keep up with a rhythm that was not designed for it. You have been so strong, so responsible, caring for everything and everyone, that you forgot to care for the most important person in this equation, you. You have been operating on autopilot, driven by necessity and obligation, and your connection with me, which should be your source of energy, has become an item on your task list, often deferred until later. What I am about to show you next could transform your life, because the urgent message I have for you today is not another task, but a liberation. I came to give you the permission you have not given yourself, the permission to stop, to breathe, to reconnect. Your life was not designed to be this marathon of exhaustion, and if you do not hear my voice today, if you do not answer this call to pause, your body and your soul will find a much more painful way to force you to stop. I love you too much to allow that to happen. Before continuing the message, write this statement of faith in the comments. My soul finds peace in the presence of God. By doing this, you are taking your first step out of the treadmill of anxiety and into the garden of my serenity. It is your act of answering this call. Now, continuing the message, I do not ask you for hours. I ask you for this moment, just this one. And in this moment, I want to start untying the knots that have kept you trapped in this cycle of tiredness and emptiness. My precious soul, let's look with love at the root of your exhaustion. It is not just in your many activities, but in the energy source with which you try to perform them. You have been operating from yourself, from your own strength, your own wisdom, your own resilience. And your strength, my child, however admirable, is finite. It is like the battery of a cell phone that, if not connected to the source, will inevitably run out. And your battery has reached 1%. You have been striving to be your own sun, your own source of light and warmth for your world. And that is why you are burning out. Your calling was never to be the sun, but to be the moon, which has no light of its own, but which reflects, magnificently and serenely, the light of the sun, which is me. Your beauty is not in shining by yourself, but in being a reflection of my glory. Your strength is not in generating energy, but in staying connected to my inexhaustible source. Your frantic rush, your need to control everything comes from a fundamental lie, that if you stop, everything will collapse. And today, I came to tell you the truth. If you stop, that is when everything will start to align truthfully. Because by stopping, you eventually give me the space to act. By admitting your weakness, you eventually open the door to my unlimited power. Your exhaustion is not your shame. It is your invitation. It is your point of surrender, the sacred place where your I can't meets my I can do all things. Now, before we continue this message, write in the comments, I trust in the Lord. By doing this, you are officially resigning from your position as the sun of your own system. You are accepting your glorious position as the moon, ready to reflect a light that is not yours, but that is infinitely more powerful and beautiful. If this message has touched your heart, and you wish to support this mission, click Super Thanks and help spread words of light, encouragement, and inspiration to many lives. Continuing on, your greatest strength is not in your capacity to do, but in your wisdom to connect. And today we are going to re-establish this connection. My blessed soul, the first and most urgent action you need to take is to silence the noise. Your mind has become a noisy marketplace with 1,000 voices shouting at once. The voice of worry about the future, the voice of guilt about the past, the voice of others' opinions, the voice of your own self-criticism. And amid this cacophony, my voice, which is a gentle, quiet word, has become inaudible. You cannot receive my guidance, my peace, my strength, if your receiver is tuned to the station of chaos. Therefore, your first task, your first discipline, is to deliberately start turning down the volume. This requires courage, the courage to turn off the television, to step away from social media for a while, to say no to conversations that only feed your anxiety, and most importantly, the courage to confront your own inner noise. And the most powerful tool to silence the inner noise is forgiveness. Unforgiveness, both toward others and toward yourself, is the loudest static on your line of communication with me. Resentment is an endless debate you wage in your mind. Guilt is a judgment that never reaches a verdict of peace. Today, I call you to put an end to that. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do so now. Thus, you receive more messages of light and inspiration directly to your heart. And before we proceed, let me guide you to something I have prepared to strengthen your faith even more. If you feel you need inner healing, spiritual reconnection, purpose, and prosperity aligned with my heart, there is a 31-day path waiting for you. Each day of this walk was created so I can speak to you more deeply and personally. If you wish to follow this path, the link is in the description and the first pinned comment. Now, let's continue the message. I, your God, am sending you a special sign. The sign you have been waiting for is in this verse, Matthew 11:28-29, which says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and you will find rest for your souls." My invitation is to rest, and rest begins in silence. Write in the comments, "I receive this message and I am blessed," and send love and protection to the person you love, declaring that God's peace is also available for their weary soul. If this message touched your heart, show your support with a super thanks and help spread this message of light. Commit today to finding 5 minutes. Just 5. Sit in silence. Ask for nothing, just breathe, and invite my stillness to fill your being. This small act of intentional silence is your first step out of the noisy marketplace and into my garden of peace. My beloved soul, for your pause to be truly restorative, your heart needs to be freed. Your frantic rush has often been a running away from unresolved pains, and unforgiveness is the heaviest chain that keeps you on this treadmill of exhaustion. Today, I need you to stop and look at this chain. The resentment you carry against those who hurt you is a poison you drink, hoping they get sick. It consumes your energy, embitters your spirit, and prevents you from receiving my healing. You cannot be filled with my peace if your heart is still full of bitterness. Forgiveness is not a feeling, it is a decision to release your right to vengeance and to hand the cause over to me. It is your declaration that your freedom is more important than your wounded pride. And the most liberating forgiveness you need to release today is forgiveness toward yourself. You blame yourself for your mistakes, for your impatience, for not being the perfect mother, wife, woman you think you should be. And this self-condemnation is a whip with which you yourself reopen your wounds every day. My child, hear my voice of grace. Your identity is not in your performance, but in your position as my beloved daughter. Your perfection is not in never failing, but in being perfectly covered by my grace. Accept my forgiveness, and from it, free yourself from your own tyranny. Write in the comments a list of people, including yourself, whom you wish to forgive. Visualize each one, send them love, and say, "I forgive you and release you. May peace be with you." Feel the lightness and freedom that forgiveness brings. Repeat this practice every day to strengthen your inner peace and release anxiety. This act, done now, is your chain breaking. It is your demolition of the inner prison that has kept you captive. And a heart free from the weight of the past is a heart that can eventually rest in the present and dream of the future. My precious soul, with the noise lessening and the heart being lightened, the message I need you to hear today is about your true worth. Your rush has been fueled by a lie, that your worth is measured by your productivity, that the more you do, the more you are worth, and that has put you in an impossible competition with yourself and with the world. Today, I came to break this ruler. Your worth, my beloved, has absolutely nothing to do with what you do. Your worth is intrinsic. It is inherent. It was established by me the moment I created you, unique and unrepeatable. You are valuable not because you are useful, but because you exist. You are my masterpiece, and the value of a masterpiece is not in its function, but in the signature of the artist. And my signature is in every cell of your being. Your worth was sealed, incontestably, on the cross, where I paid the highest price in the universe for you. You were not bought with gold or silver, but with the precious blood of my Son. Do you grasp what that means? It means that, in my eyes, you are worth more than all creation. And this worth does not fluctuate. It does not increase on your good days and does not decrease on your bad days. It is constant, unchanging, eternal. This truth is your liberation from the tyranny of performance. It gives you permission to rest without guilt, to be instead of just doing, to receive instead of just giving. Living from this truth changes everything. You stop comparing yourself because a unique masterpiece does not compare itself to another. You stop being afraid of failing because your worth is not in your success. And you start serving not to gain worth, but because you are already overflowing with it. My blessed soul, your pause, your decision to stop and listen today is not an act of selfishness. It is, in fact, your greatest act of love toward those around you. Because your old way of operating, from exhaustion and anxiety, prevented you from being the blessing I called you to be. You were giving your loved ones your leftovers. Your tiredness became your impatience. Your worry became your control. Your physical presence was there, but your soul was absent, lost in the whirlwind of your mind. By stopping to reconnect with me, to fill yourself with my peace and to establish yourself in your true identity, you are not just healing yourself. You are becoming a clean, clear channel for my love to flow into the world. Your new life, born of this pause, will have a purpose that overflows. Your peace will become the atmosphere of your home. Your joy, born of your security in me, will become contagious. Your strength, which will now come from my inexhaustible well, will give you a new capacity to love, to serve, to encourage. You will become the oasis for your family and no longer a source of stress. You will become a refuge for your friends and no longer someone who also needs rescue. Share this video with 2 dear people who need this message of hope and faith. Let's build a chain of love and mutual support together. Leave a comment with a prayer of faith and hope. A simple, Lord, may my pause today enable me to be a greater blessing tomorrow, is a prayer that aligns your self-care with my kingdom purpose. What seems like a step backward, an act of withdrawal, is in truth your greatest step forward toward a life of true impact and meaning. To bless others, you must first be blessed, and the blessing begins in the pause. My precious soul, your new life of peace and purpose begins with a new daily practice. Your old practice was reaction. Your new practice is intention. And your most important daily intention is to connect to your source. I want to give you a new ritual for your life, the ritual of the first and the last. Your first thought and your first action of the morning should no longer belong to the world, to the cell phone, to the list of problems. They belong to me. Before getting up, still in bed, your first act is to connect. Say simply, "Good morning, Father. I am yours. This day is yours. Fill me with your peace and your strength." This 5-minute act of morning dedication is what will establish your inner governance for the entire day. And your last action of the night should not be to review the worries for the next day. Your last action is surrender. Keep a surrender journal. And every night, write down every worry, every burden, and beside it write, "Delivered to you, Father." Visualize yourself placing them in my hands, and then be grateful. Thank me for 3 good things that happened in your day. Gratitude is the seal that closes your night in an atmosphere of faith, the first and the last. By giving me the start and the end of your day, you give me permission to sanctify the entire middle. This simple yet powerful practice will keep you connected, centered, and prevent you from returning to the old road of exhaustion. Your life will no longer be a succession of reactions, but a current of grace, which begins and ends in me. My beloved soul, we have reached the end of our urgent conversation and the beginning of your new way of living. The word you needed to hear today has been delivered, and the word is stop. Together, we diagnosed your condition of hurry and noise. We pulled out the roots of fear and unforgiveness. We clothed you with your true identity and your unconditional worth. You grasped that your pause is your greatest act of love and the start of your true purpose. And you received your new daily practice to sustain this new life. Now your life is no longer defined by your to-do list, but by your connection with me. Your productivity is no longer measured by how much you do, but by how much you are in me. For my part, I promise you, if you give me your pause, I will give you my peace. If you give me your silence, I will give you my direction. If you give me your surrender, I will give you my strength. The exchange is glorious. Your part, my child, is simply to have the courage to take the pause, the courage to displease the world to please your soul, the courage to trust that I am capable of caring for everything, while you care for yourself, in me. Leave this meeting of ours with a holy resolve. The resolve to no longer live as a slave to your own schedule, but as the beloved daughter who learned to walk with me in the rhythm of grace. Your life does not have to be a race. It can be a dance, and the music begins when you stop running and eventually listen. If this message resonated with you and with your situation, write in the comments, "Today I choose God's pause and peace." Your words strengthen your faith and also light the way for others who need this light. Share your experiences in the comments. And before we close, I need to guide you to something I have prepared especially for you. I have seen your search for inner healing, for spiritual reconnection, for a new purpose, and for prosperity that comes from my hands. None of this is by chance. When your heart cries out, I open pathways. That is why, through this channel, I have set before you a guided 31-day path, a process where, daily, I can speak more deeply to your spirit. This is not just an ebook. It is a road to restoration, alignment, and growth, created to strengthen your faith, renew your hope, and open doors you never imagined. If you feel this calling, access the link I have left in the description and also in the first pinned comment of this video. Begin this walk of healing, reconnection, purpose, and prosperity today. I will be with you on every page, guiding your steps and illuminating your way. If this message touched your heart, like this video and subscribe to the channel to continue receiving my word. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next video.